Okay, so we're going to work on our rods now. This is what will hold our spools of ribbon. So what we're going to do is we're going to just unpeel, again, just the edge, keep it protected as long as possible. I've already taken off my paper off of these. So I actually did different colors than, I mean, if you only have clear, then use clear. So these are done, these circles and these spacers and those backers are done with 3mm acrylic. So you need two different kinds for this project, 6mm and 3mm. So for these, I used different colors. I used white for this side that'll be removable, and the fixed side I used black, just so I know when I'm putting them on which side I can pop off, because there are spools of ribbon that you'll have that are very thin, so this will ensure that you are able to, you know, use it for any kind of ribbon spool that you have. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a little bit of glue. Again, these fit really tight, but you want them to, because we don't want them falling off, especially for this side that's removable. So you just take a little bit of glue like that. I'm actually going to grab a silicone mat because that makes it easier when you're working with adhesive so that it doesn't stick to your workstation. And then what I'm going to do is actually just take this and pop it in with the adhesive. Okay, now it's a square, so it shouldn't matter which way. And then I like to push it down all the way because we can, if excess squishes out. That's why silicone mats are awesome, because you can clean it up really easily. So here we go again with the Q-tip, just to take away any excess. I actually sometimes will just take a baby wipe as well if there's some extra stuff there, just to remove excess. Okay, so we're going to do that with pretty much every rod. Like I said, I'm using black for my fixed sides, and then you're going to leave, you're not actually going to glue one of the sides. So you have one side glued and one side not glued. And again, that's so that when you have ribbon rolls that are smaller, the opening is smaller than this, you want to be able to get in there and put it on the rod. Again, same thing, just getting all the way around. Zealous there with the glue. Same thing, we're gonna pop it in, push, make sure it's all the way down. And make sure that you hold it closer. Sorry, I just don't want to block your view, but you want to make sure that you hold it closer to the actual end there when you're putting it in, so you don't break the rod. Adhesive with these. Like I said, I do them different colors. One end dark, so I know it's fixed. The other end different color. So those late nights when I'm working, I don't get confused. Okay, so just looks like that, looks like that. And like I said, when you want to take your ribbon spool out, you just pop that guy off. And it's pretty tight on there. Okay, now that we have our rods assembled, I actually wanted to show everybody why it was important to have one side fixed and one side removable. See, these spools are very thin, so you can see, and this is why it's great to have the side where you can actually remove the edge. Sorry, guy back on there. And they're, like I said, I've designed them so that they're pretty stiff, so that we can pop it back on, and then you'll have no issues fitting any size spool on your ribbon roll. Now everybody's probably wondering what these are. These are called, well, I call them spool dividers. Now for these type of ribbons, don't really need it because they have this outer shell, but something I encountered, because obviously with small business we all have, or some of us even make, these awesome stickers. I know some of you probably make them, but I use them. I can't be bothered to make them. Problem is, you put them in, and I know it's not so much a problem when you put it on the rack, but it's also a bit of a pain, you know, if you're trying to juggle like a whack of spools. So what these do is when you put them through, mine still has the cover on, is you won't have that issue because it'll kind of stop it from going through. So I call these my spool dividers, and that's what those are for everybody that's wondering. What are those weird looking things that are on there? So that's what those are. So they actually will divide the spools for you. Normally I try to face them so they're all facing the same direction when you put them on, so then there's some kind of consistency with them. So that's kind of what those are for. Okay, so now that we've got all our parts and pieces cut and our rods assembled, which we have here, I'm going to actually start working on the main part of the rack holder. So what we're going to do is I've labeled them top, outside, bottom. The reason I did that was because I wanted to make sure that I don't get confused, because I do have different sides on this. One is a matte side and one is a shiny side. I wanted to make sure that I don't make the mistake of using the shiny side when I intended to use the matte. Anyways, it also helps because the bottom and top are different sizes. So on your piece, you'll see that there's a thicker side, that's the bottom. That will actually snap into the base plate, and then the top is the thinner part. Okay, so what I like to do is, again, peel the sides like this, and if you have little bits from your printer, you can kind of wipe those down, because we want to make sure that everything is nice and clean. And do that. I use microfiber cloths. Make sure that everything's nice and clean. Okay. And then we're going to do the same with this, and what I'm taking, so this is the outside, so that can actually stay put. It's the inside where you want to take out the edge where the squares are, where you want to peel away, because we are going to insert the dowels that will help keep everything kind of together and in place as we glue things together. Okay, so do that. Okay, so now that everything's peeled back, I'm going to just put my dowels in. I have 2 white dowels and then 1 clear one. I'm just going to fit them in. Okay, they fit nice and pretty snug, so we're just going to fit those in. Make sure that fits well. Make sure that fits well. Fits pretty good. Okay, so I'm going to glue these 2. All I'm going to do is take a little bit of glue, go around. Actually, I use my silicone mat here when I glue, so that I don't get any glue on my mat underneath. So I'm going to do one at a time and let the glue set. I'm just checking to make sure everything is level. I don't have to stick to the glue. So I'm just going to grab my glue. So all you're going to do is go around. You don't have to put too much, and snap that in. Okay. Same thing here. Go around. So I think there's a little bit of a difference in size. I think this white acrylic is a millimeter thinner, which is actually not ideal. That's why it's actually loose like that. It's better to use 6mm acrylic. I think this white one is just a little shy of 6, whereas this is dead on 6, so I don't actually need to glue this one in place. So I want to make sure that your dowels are straight. Take a level by all means, but for the most part with the glue, they'll stay on pretty solid. Okay, I know things are a little bit tacky still, so what I'm going to do is also do the other side, because I know my middle dowel there is the right size acrylic. Like I said, this white acrylic, I think, because this is some scrap I just used, is a little bit smaller. Just have to glue it because of that. But I know my white one, when it's the perfect size, then they should just snap into place. If they're not, then unfortunately we have to kind of make it easier to kind of work. Okay, so we're going to glue on now. So you're going to get your two short pieces, which are the back pieces that are made from your 3mm acrylic. So you're going to actually take your glue and you're going to run it along the edges. Don't have to use too much. Okay, it's been about 20 minutes. My glue dries pretty fast. I mean, it cures 100%, I believe, in 24 hours. So it's pretty solid. So I'm just gonna peel. So now I know these are the bottoms here, the thicker sides, which I had you label. What's bottom, what's top. So bottom is here, you'll see. So what we're going to do now is actually peel the corners of the bottom so we can snap it into place. And as you can see, it's pretty solid once it's in the bottom. So and then just rub it across. You don't have to use baby oil, you can use any oil. This just helps put it in without snapping the acrylic, because acrylic is strong, but it's also fragile if it's flexing in the wrong places. So just gonna rub that there on the edge. Okay, and your bases. My bases are already ready because I didn't peel off. I didn't need to peel off because I actually used dishwashing soap. So I just had to wash mine. Okay, so what we're going to do is take our rack, just take our rack and then just line it up and grab the other base. Okay, this actually goes in pretty easy in that one. So it goes in pretty easy in the other one. Now this acrylic, the one I used, the white one I used is actually only 5mm, I believe, and the clear one is 6. It is better with 6. I mean, if you have only 5, the only difference between that is you'll actually have to use glue to attach everything, because the file was made for 6mm acrylic, which is not a big deal. Again, it's what you've got on hand. It still works with 5mm. The only thing is like I said, you have to pretty much glue everything in place as opposed to snap all the pieces. So there you have it.